I just love the way you put it.
It was very basic and boring, yes, but it
It's
still
like
was.
not all game movies are terrible. Think about Tomb Raider. That one was basic and boring. Hello and welcome back to the J&Z podcast. My name is Jace Van Ort.
And I'm Zeth Makala, speaking in a Chris Pratt-like voice.
And speaking of a Chris Pratt like voice, we got Nintendo and Illumination's The Mario movie. The highly controversial movie that me and Zeth have been, to say the least, very differently opinionated on how it's going to turn out. And I think we still are.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of went full circle on this. We went from our first episode talking when the cast was announced a little over a year back, and now we're coming up on our first anniversary of doing this, I believe. And
I
we're
think
talking
so.
about it
I think
again.
we're. I remember that back
Yeah,
when it was Chris
we're
Pratt
close to
voicing
200
Mario, and
subscribers.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot has changed.
It-
200 subscribers, and now we have our first look at Mario.
I cannot be more excited to rip into this trailer.
Oh
They
God,
showed so little and yet so much.
you're such a negative Nancy.
I am no negative Nancy. I just can't help it that everything's been kind of underwhelming recently. But I
I
will
don't know. I'm
explain
I'm
where I
very
lie.
excited for this. All right, let's hear your opinion. What was your reaction even to the trailer?
I was just waiting for Mario to speak. I thought the beginning was kind of cool with Bowser dropping the big old chains. That was fun. I saw what is probably going to be the funniest joke in the whole movie with the penguins throwing the snowballs. And it was like decently funny. I know that's going to be the funniest joke in the whole thing.
I
But
don't know.
they
We might have
did
some
give me
funnier
some
ones.
hope because I'm glad that they're going to be kind of delving deeper into like the whole Mario realm. The penguins aren't like a prominent even in Nintendo stuff, let alone, whatever. So
Yeah,
I'm
they took
glad
them
they're
from 64 and Galaxy.
yeah, and I'm glad they're bringing them into this movie. It kind of shows to me at least that on some level they do care. What?
Or what's the other levels that they don't care?
It's Illumination and Nintendo. I have mentioned this before. You got Illumination, who has yet to make a good movie since Despicable Me. And at the same time, you got Nintendo, who, after their little fiasco in the 90s, has been so closed minded with all of their properties that I can't imagine they're going to take hardly any creative liberties in this movie because that's just how Nintendo is. It's not going to be like a Sonic movie, it's Nintendo.
Oh, I think they'll take plenty of creative liberties. I mean, we've already seen it with the poster for the movie. How Toad Town is uh, it's very rambunctious. You have a bunch of shops. I saw like a bunch of 8-bit power-ups, like all the power-ups, like the POW
That's
blocks and
not
the
what
bullet
I'm
bills, I
talking
think.
about, though. Like, it's cool,
Okay, what's
but it's not risk
okay? Well,
taking.
no, but it's still like good. I'm not looking for a risk-taking movie here. I'm just
I
looking for a
am.
good
I'm looking
Mario
for a
movie.
movie. I have a feeling that they're gonna just be very. The plot's just gonna be a little bit too simple, and they're gonna just make a boring, predictable movie. That's 100% what's gonna happen. They're
I don't
not
know.
gonna.
I think we're in for a good surprise here. I'm honestly very hopeful for this movie because first of all, the animation looks spectacular,
It
to
does
say
look
the
very
least.
nice.
Very, very nice. Like the penguins, you could see the individual furs. Mario's mustache, uh, you could see the furs. Like same thing with his hat or his hair. Like it, you could see all the individual strands. Like something we've never seen in a video game. Even in Mario Odyssey, like that level of detail was never there.
Well, it kind of was if you remember the promotional posters for that one. Everybody's talking about his hair.
Yeah, like like the videos and stuff, but I'm saying like in game, we've never had that level of detail.
True.
You can always have a cutscene, but to have this level of detail of Mario, we've never seen before.
The trailer did show a lot of unique stuff. I did like what they showed. Okay, I did enjoy to an extent what they showed. It was nothing groundbreaking, and it was the funniest thing ever. This whole time, the question on everybody's mind is, what does Mario sound like? What is Chris Pratt gonna make him sound like? You build it up, and they build it up, and it's just it's just Chris Pratt with like a slight New York accent. It's the funniest thing in the
Yeah,
world.
and I think it's fine. Like, and like people are getting mad over this. Like,
No, it's
very
not worth
angry.
getting mad over, but
Well, yeah, but like I was listening to a few guys, and like, you know, a majority of people, I think the majority of people are saying it's fine. Most of the reactions that I was seeing, they're saying it's fine.
oh, it's
But the people that are
fine.
getting very, very, very mad at, they're saying, oh, it needs to be bubbly. It's like, have you ever played a Mario game?
Yeah, I'm
It's like,
kind of in
yes,
between. They
Mario
could have
is a
leaned
very
into it more, but I don't want them to go all the way. But they probably,
exactly Mario's a very bubbly personality. Yes, he needs to be very excited and stuff. And I think Chris Pratt is perfect for that.
I
As
don't,
far as
I
but we
don't
see it
mind if he
with his
sounds
Emmett role,
different. Emmett's not Mario. Nobody knew what
but
Emmett
he
was
can
until the movie.
but what I'm saying is Emmett was a very exciting role. Like he would get excited and stuff, and Chris Pratt can do that. Same thing with Andy in Parks and Recreation. Chris Pratt can be a goofball. He's not just the straight hardened man that you see on the
Yeah, I
poster for
know.
Jurassic World. So I'm
It's just
saying
that
that the few lines that we've got of him, everybody's complaining about it. It's like, let's hear a little more before we start grabbing pitchforks and torches.
it's the principle of it. It's the fact that he sounds like Chris Pratt. It's not like they pick somebody else to be Mario who kind of sounds like Mario. He just straight up sounds like sorry. He just straight up sounds like Chris
And
Pratt. He's not Mario.
I think it's
Uh,
fine, to be honest. Like, I really don't see the problem.
Bowser, Jack Black sounds like Bowser, at least like as much as Bowser would sound like.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
didn't sound like Jack Black. He sounded like Jack Black doing a growly voice to sound like
I'm
Bowser.
surprised more people aren't getting mad about some characters that you've never heard talk in a long time. Like Bowser hasn't
That's
talked
the
since Super Mario
point.
Sunshine. Bowser was talking, of course, in the Super Show and stuff, and I think that was fine. But I mean, I think a lot of people forget like about that Super Show, like that cartoon, like um,
I don't think they should be
that they
drawing any
did.
inspiration from that cartoon.
I think they
That
could because it was fine.
it was fine. I get they needed to
Mario's
change
voice
his
was
voice
fine.
somehow, but he just does like. But like Mario has talked before, Luigi's talked before. You know how those sound.
Yeah, and I
You
think
can
it's
make like a
fine.
random Toad sound like whatever. Like Toad only goes yahoo, but like I get
It's
it. You
like
can change
everybody
that.
it's like everybody wants their own version of Mario and we can't all agree on one version of it. People
I
think
think
he
if you
should
asked
be like
anybody
Charles Martinet the
ever,
entire time.
I don't want it to be
But
Charles
I'm just
Martinet,
saying,
but if you asked anybody
but what do you
ever
want? What do you want?
what Mario should sound like, okay, just ask anybody ever what Mario should sound like, and nobody's going to say Chris Pratt. Nobody's going to be like, I really thought about all the
Exactly.
options, and I don't. I think he should sound like Chris Pratt, just for no reason. He's
But I
Mario.
think yeah, but it's fine. Like
I,
you got to remember for a video game geared towards children, when Charles Martinet did the voice originally, he wanted it to be bright and bubbly for kids. Okay, that's fine for a video game, especially when it's just his voice uh, saying like 5-second things like the jumps or the yips, that's fine. And I think they're going to save it for this movie, but I'm honestly still in the hopes that they're going to do that for this, where Charles Martinet is doing the little tiny voice clips. Like when Mario jumps, he's still going to say Yahoo very high pitched, but that's not going to be Chris Pratt. It's going to be Charles Martinet, and Chris Pratt will just provide the voice.
And that'd be just fine.
Okay.
The only reason I see them doing it is for publicity and just to have a famous actor doing it. That's all they do nowadays is they take famous people and make them voice act so they can put their name on the poster. That's all they do it for. If he wasn't Chris Pratt, if Chris Pratt was just like any other person that applied to be the role of Mario, they wouldn't pick him. But because he's Chris Pratt, he got the role. Same with Jack Black.
It is a little weird.
Same with every other cast member on that show.
I will say, when it comes to that perspective, it's dumb because Mario is such a big name. Like, he's like Sonic. It's like everybody knows what a Sonic is. Everybody knows what a Mario is. That's enough star power. You don't need someone behind that to push it. People that like Mario are going to this movie regardless Chris Pratt or not.
I know, but it would be so much better in the long term if they pick somebody who may not have had giant roles before, but who kind of fits the role better. Because then in the future, let's just say there's a Mario game, they can make speaking roles, and because Chris Pratt ain't gonna voice Mario, whatever. But maybe this guy that got his, caught his break because he sounded pretty good for the role, maybe he'll voice it in that. It'll have more possibilities. Instead, we'll have Charles Martinet and then just randomly Chris Pratt in there. Like, they could make this a longer term thing.
Yeah, I get it. I think it's fine because I'm so used to different Mario voices. I watched the Super Show growing up, so I'm used to a very Brooklyn grunty Mario from the cartoon portion. I'm used to the live action portion of that show where he was a little more bubblier, but he still was a pretty hardened Brooklyn accented man. I'm used to the movie more where he is he's very grouchy almost the whole time. He's never bubbly in that entire movie.
No, those are all weird though.
So I think it's fine. It's just people need to remember Mario's origins as well as just give it a chance.
I will give it a chance. It was the funniest thing ever though. Just waiting, they're teasing it. He goes, "Ooh, just wait and build up," and he goes, "Here we go." No, he doesn't say it like that. He just goes, "Here we come,
Kingdom, here we come."
He couldn't. I don't know.
I think it was very interesting to say the least.
Everyone else was fine though because they're.
Yeah, I think Keegan-Michael Key was perfect as Toad. Like I said in my Pinocchio video, I was looking forward to what he had for that.
He kind of sounds like a Toad though. That's the point.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it sounds good without being annoying.
Right. They found a balance. Jack. I don't know. I just think that he'll be a good Toad. Jack Black's a good Bowser. I'm sure Anya Taylor-Joy will be a perfectly good Princess Peach. Because they'll all at least sound, in the ballpark of what you'd expect it to sound like. And then there's just Chris Pratt as Mario. Even Charlie Day as Luigi is going to be just fine.
Well, Charlie Day as Luigi is going to sound like Charlie Day as Luigi. It's going to be the same thing as Chris Pratt. Everybody says it's going to be amazing, but it matches the role more because Charlie Day's got that very high-pitched, like, very shaky, like, he can go really crazy, and Luigi's perfect for that role. But I think people just need to get used to the fact of Mario talking. It's like if all of a sudden they made a Legend of Zelda cartoon and they said Link is going to be talking, and they cast Leonardo DiCaprio.
Right.
But I mean, like that cartoon, that's even worse than the Super Show. But
it's just one of those things where it's like oh right, I was I will give them some leeway because it is super hard to cast Mario as anything, I feel. It's not like Sonic, it's not like any other game where you have like a young protagonist or something. It's just literally some middle-aged guy in overalls. That's what Mario's always been. So it's always been kind of hard to like make him sound cool, I guess, or make him sound right. Cuz he's just like he's that's why he's often grouchy. Just nothing else really fits him. He just kind of is hard to characterize in a brighter way besides like the 2-second yahoos in the game or something.
It will be weird, to say the least. But am I going to hate on it, or am I going to say that it's going to be terrible because of the voice? No. It'll be terrible if the story's terrible and the characters are terrible. I think people just need to be open minded more and, yeah, just be more open minded about it and just be patient for more footage to come out. It was a teaser, not a trailer. It was a teaser.
Yep,
So,
I agree.
I mean, we didn't even hear Charlie Day as Luigi. So we don't even know if he's changing up his voice.
Right.
We just heard a
I
few,
know.
like, screams. But I mean, I'm very excited for this.
I am too, and for different reasons, but I am excited. I think we'll
Oh,
we'll
you're
both go
excited for
see
the
it, of
dumpster
course.
fire it's gonna be probably.
You know how video games have that track record, and the only reason Sega made it was because they literally had to remake the movie.
Yeah, but I think video game movies have gotten better. I haven't watched Monster Hunter yet, but I thought the step in the right direction was the Tomb Raider movie. It was very
Hmm.
basic and boring, but but it felt like it it had that game like quality. Like it followed the story of the game, very straightforward. That was the step in the right direction.
I just love the way you put it.
It was very basic and boring, yes, but it
It's
still
like
was.
not all game movies are terrible. Think about Tomb Raider. That one was basic and boring, but
No, I'm talking about the 2018 one that no one saw. That
right.
one, it was basic and boring compared to most movies, but compared to a video game movie, it was the best at the time, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Then you had, I think, Rampage after that, or Detective Pikachu. And Rampage was stupid only till the monsters started fighting one another, and that was awesome. That felt like the video
Right.
game when they started trashing the city. I was like, yeah. Then you have Detective Pikachu, which was the best. It still wasn't great because I felt that one had pacing issues.
Hmm.
Um, but as far as a video game movie, that was like the gold standard. Then you have Sonic come out, and that was an atrocity at first, but then they remade it, obviously, and that became the gold standard. Then you have Sonic Movie 2, and that became the next gold standard. So they've gotten better over time. It's just slowly taken a little bit. And I think Mario will be that next, like, this is how you make a video game movie.
I don't think it'll shape up to Sonic 2.
I think it will because Sonic 2 was full of live action kid stuff. You had a lot of things that they just put in there just for the sake of it because it was live action.
Right.
So with the Mario movie, because it's animated, I feel like they're gonna have to be more tied. So regardless if the story follows a different group of characters, you're gonna be attached to them more because they're a part of the video game.
Hmm. Okay.
Because with Sonic, the Sonic movie too, like it took this drastic change in the story all of a sudden halfway through, where it followed more of the human characters. With a Mario animated movie, you're not gonna have that problem.
Right. I agree. And yeah, I guess like in Detective Pikachu, you know, they cast what's his name again?
Ryan Reynolds is
Ryan
Pikachu.
Reynolds as Pikachu, and I never in a million years thought that would have worked. So I guess it's kind of the same thing, although it's a bit different, you know. But it's still I'm when I'm watching it, I'm not going to care, of course. But as for now, it is still weird to think about it. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, it's still something that I think a lot of us have to like think about and just be like, all right. But the more that I've watched the trailer, the more I'm like, yeah, I see what they're coming from, and I I've come to like it.
Yeah.
Not love it, but I'm for it.
Yeah, I'm on the same page, so
You just said you hated it.
I didn't hate it. I didn't I thought I didn't like some parts of it, and I want them to prove me wrong at some parts of it, but what I saw was decent. I thought it was decent. I thought it was adequate. So,
Hmm.
alrighty, well that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Yeah.
Yeah, same. I mean,
So,
I guess we'll just, as more information comes out or if another trailer comes out, we'll see.
we'll make an update and probably try to be more timely about it, but sorry, that's our fault. So, with
Nah.
that said, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your night.